Weren't we just in January? It's July. You know what that means? It's time to count down my favorite movies of the year so far. We're doing movies today, TV sometime soon, and what else is there? Video games? I don't know. Let's talk about movies. What's up, Flick fans? Very simple video. I'm talking my 10 favorite films of the year so far, but I need your all's lists in the comments down below. What movie was not on my list that you thought for sure would be there? And, I don't know, maybe we'll talk worst at some point. I need it! Of course, with every list, there's going to be honorable mentions. Let's start with The First Omen, a movie I did not know I needed, but thoroughly enjoyed. Suncoast. Really nice, touching story. Nico Parker and Woody Harrelson specifically were very good. Ordinary Angels, a touching, beautiful, heartwarming film. Alan Ritchson and Hilary Swank actually are very good in this movie. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I didn't know what to expect from this, but it's a really good time. Once again, Ritchson and Henry Cavill. Could have been more, but I enjoyed what it was. The Bike Riders. Yeah, it moves slow, and I thought the characters needed more depth, but the Vandals as an entity were awesome, and I like Jeff Nichols' style. How about The Greatest Hits? I think this is an underrated romantic drama with a sci-fi twist. Lucy Boynton is wonderful. Bad Boys, Ride or Die. I just had a really good time with this one. It's not the greatest story I've ever seen, but for a sequel that had to deliver fun, it definitely delivered fun. Love Lies Bleeding. I wanted to absolutely love this, ended up just liking it, but I thoroughly liked it. The performances were great, Kristen Stewart specifically, and just the style from Rose Glass was phenomenal. Hundreds of Beavers. Do not miss this. It's a throwback, slapsticky, Looney Tunes-like movie, something like you've never seen before. I thought it was quirky, charming, and overall really funny at times. And then finally, Monkey Man. Dev Patel surprised me. It's not as much like John Wick as people will want you to believe, but it's just an interesting story with a compelling lead character and a journey of revenge. All right, real quick, I want to interrupt this video and let you all know that I have seen two movies since making this video. That is Maxine and Kill. Maxine would have definitely been in the honorable mentions, but Kill, yeah, that would have been in the top 5.
What?
This is just me letting you know because some people will be asking, but even then, I saw them after July 1st, so they don't count. Yeah, number 10, Kalki 2898 AD. Austin, what is this? Well, I've been watching a lot of Indian cinema as of late, and Kalki was a movie that a lot of people told me to watch. Guess what? It was really freaking entertaining. In this film, unlike a lot of movies in America, when they do something silly or over the top or slapsticky, they don't try to take themselves too seriously. They know exactly what they're trying to be. I felt the script knew exactly the kind of movie, the kind of story that it was telling, and that's refreshing. I did have some major issues with the CGI in the beginning, but it gets a lot better as you go. But this world, this style, and this Elysium mixed with Mad Max, mixed kind of with Dune style of sci-fi, adventure, drama, romantic comedy, that's right, all of those things, is really enjoyable, really entertaining, and Prabhas, I mean, he is a movie star and a half. So if you've never heard of this, check it out, watch the trailer. If it's your kind of thing, maybe go check it out on the big screen. Do it.
This is Joy, coming to you live in Riley's mind. Make some noise!
I had to put Inside Out 2 here, right? While I don't think it's as maybe compelling as the first, and it's missing that bing bong moment that the first movie had, and you know, you have all of these similar emotions, things that we've seen before, but then you add in all of these new emotions, and Riley's hitting puberty and anxiety, and just a really good supporting voice cast. I didn't miss the people that they replaced. I thought for sure I was going to really miss Bill Hader. It did what it had to do. It capitalized on the first, but it delivered a compelling story on its own and spent a lot more time with Riley in the real life than it did in the first, but still gave us those wonderful creative moments inside of her head and all the things that they do and the lessons that we learn along the way. That's what really matters. That's what's important. And that's why it's in my top 10. It's a great movie.
Sorry, but our gas pumps are dry. I'm waiting on the fuel truck to show up.
Estimated $700,000.
How about The Last Stop in Yuma County? I love these low-budget, like modern Western style of stories, and that's exactly what I thought this was going to be. ended up being what it was. Takes place in one location. Bunch of people are running out of gas, and there's no gas to be found, so everyone ends up in this bar, but there's someone there, or a group of people there, that maybe just stole some money, and they're up to no good. And that's when everything goes absolutely insane and bonkers. Now, I felt as if I needed some more character motivations for what we get at the end, but overall, this is a compelling, well-written, low-budget movie. It thrives in that hell or high water type of genre space, so if you like that kind of movie, I think you're going to enjoy this one. And the cast is fantastic, specifically Jim Cummings, who I'm a huge fan of, and I think he's a really good guy in real life. So overall, I thoroughly enjoyed Last Stop in Yuma County. I can't wait to watch it again.
And the next day, and the next day.
New things. I see everything.
Raqqa, Proximus Caesar, Noah. These are names you have to get to know because we had our spectacular standout characters in the last movies, the trilogy that we got that was amazing. I did not think this would capitalize on that, take the franchise in a new creative direction, and really just maintain the quality. But it absolutely did. I actually think this is a more compelling introduction into this specific world than Rise was into that world. Maybe Rise was more impactful, but we know what comes after, right? This is a lot of establishment and setting up, and it does move slower, so not everyone's going to like that. Admittedly, the pacing's not as strong as the other three films, but I was way more invested by the time we got to the end, and I think these characters are really entertaining. The only one I didn't love was the young girl, her character. I felt as if I needed more there, and they're setting her up for the future. So if they deliver more with her in the next movie, I think it's going to be a better movie, and Wes Ball did a great job.
What a wonderful day!
No, I don't buy it.
What?
You're not a hitman. You can't be.
We've talked about it several times. I won't spend too much time on it, but it's Hitman. Richard Linklater, Glenn Powell, and if you listen to our podcast, Movie Mode, there's an entire episode where Ryan and I are just talking about Glenn Powell and how big of a freaking movie star he's going to be. I mean, a massive movie star incoming. We still have Twisters later this year, but he carries this film. And not as much of the, being in different outfits and dressing up, playing the part, that type of thing. We get that in the beginning of the movie. But it's a romantic comedy at its core. It's a romantic comedy directed by Richard Linklater, so you know it's going to be a little more than that. And it was really compelling when we got to that part of the story, which is something I wasn't really interested in from the trailer. And so I'm happy with it, man. I love the chemistry. I like the direction it went in, even though a lot of people will look at that and be like, I don't know about that, but it makes sense. And overall, I had a blast, and I can't wait to show my wife. She probably can't wait to watch the Glenn Powell scenes with his shirt off.
Oh no, he's hot!
Oh, good evening, night owls, and thank you for allowing me into your living rooms once again.
This may be the best combination of a low budget with creativity in the horror genre. I know that's very specific. But the best combination of those things that I've seen in years. Genuinely, Late Night with the Devil is so freaking original. And even if you didn't love the movie, you at least have to respect and appreciate the originality. That's how I felt with I Saw the TV Glow. Did not like it, didn't think it was good, but it's very original, and it's that director's vision. I feel the same way with Late Night with the Devil and David Dastmalchian. This is his best role to date. This is his best performance to date. This is such a layered character, and you're just watching him on this talk show going throughout this one night, and we get to see all of the madness play out, all of the horrific elements, and when it gets to the end, we do get some cheesy visual effects and some moments that you maybe watch and be like, it's a little too silly, a little too over the top, but then those final 3 to 5 minutes just brings it all together, and you start to put the puzzle pieces in oh, that's what was happening behind the scenes of what we didn't even get to see. And so, yeah, just a brilliant way to do it. I really love horror when it is creative on this level, and this definitely was. Late Night with the Devil's in my top 5.
19 states have seceded.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
I was a little worried with Alex Garland after Men, and I enjoyed Men to a degree, but I thought it was a little too out there at times. And then he scales back for Civil War and says, I'm just going to drop some journalists in the middle of this United States Civil War, this futuristic, actually kind of modern United States Civil War, and that's a brilliant yet simple concept and idea that he never takes overboard. He doesn't push it beyond the boundaries where it was supposed to end up. It ends up exactly where we thought we would end up, and it gives us an insight, a perspective into what these journalists are going through and shooting all of these beautiful pictures in the midst of this chaos and madness. And so that is in itself a phenomenal idea, very creative. You know, a lot of people wanted more of a big, broad, grand story to learn more about this world and, you know, why are they in this situation? But really, when this carnage is happening and they say it in the movie multiple times, does it matter? And my answer to that is no, it really doesn't matter. And I'm completely fine with them telling us as much as they told us, but just showing the madness that would happen. Absolutely. You Jesse Plemons in this movie? That would happen if something like this went down. And so, yeah, it's scary, but hey, sometimes scary things are real, kids.
As a child, my world was forever changed.
My question for number 3 is, did they make it epic? Yeah, of course they did. But most of you all didn't even go see the movie, and so... God. I'm sorry, I need a stress ball. I will squeeze Baby Yoda. Why did you let this fail at the box office? Actually, it kind of makes sense. To be honest with you, Mad Max is much more of a niche genre. I mean, even Fury Road, it did well-ish, but it didn't do great. It did okay, but it was critically acclaimed and well-acclaimed across streaming services, and so I thought people would watch that and be like, oh, cool, let's go see Furiosa, and people watched that, but then they were like, we don't need to see Furiosa until it drops on streaming. And so that's where we were with the box office. But just because something doesn't have great box office doesn't mean it's a great movie. And just because something does have great box office doesn't mean it's a good movie, a.k.a. Transformers: The Last Night.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
This movie's awesome. Anya Taylor-Joy is awesome. Chris Hemsworth is giving possibly the performance, maybe not his best character, but the performance of his career, showcasing that dynamic range we all knew he was capable of. Playing a villain, but playing it up as a villain and doing everything he needed to do to kind of scare me and make me just want to be on edge a little bit. And, you know, Immortan Joe is in the movie, but I found Hemsworth's character to be a little scarier in this one, and that's saying something. But I love the world building and everything that's going on behind the scenes and the teases that you get that tie into Fury Road, but also showing some locations that we teased in Fury Road that we never got to see, and finally answering some of those questions, but telling her story, Furiosa's story, in the process. It was great. It was grand. It wasn't a one-way there, one-way back road trip like Fury Road, but it was a huge atmospheric adventure that I had a phenomenal time with, and I am so pumped to show this to my friends who didn't go see this in the theater.
You think that tennis is about expressing yourself, doing your thing. You don't know what tennis is.
Challengers, come on, y'all. I was playing pickleball the other day and inadvertently wore my Challengers shirt. I just felt like, I felt so alive. Because I just imagined Luca Guadagnino directing the scene that I was a part of, and I was smacking it back in my wife's face. I'm just like, take that! Challengers, yeah! Josh O'Connor, Mike Feist. The scenes themselves, the tennis scenes, which are just directed and filmed in a way that I have never been excited about tennis in my life. I'm sorry to tennis fans. I'm sure it's fun. I enjoy pickleball, so that spawned from tennis. It's very important, obviously, but I've just never really gotten into it. That got me into it, and that actually caused me to go look up some matches, and I was kind of into tennis for a while. I'm out of that now, but I could get back in. Still got 2 months till football season. I need something right now, okay?
No. He's got a point.
But the cinematography and really the score, those are the two things that popped for me, even over the performances. It just made this movie, and I hate saying this because I feel like I'm too old to say this, but it was a vibe. The movie was a vibe. Is that how the kids say it? It was a vibe? Well, it was. And I was vibing throughout. That sounds wrong.
You are disgusting. You'll never find love.
It's okay. I'm here.
Did I say Tostitos? Tostitos. It's Dune. It has, was, will always be, will forever be known for, and will be in the future, Dune. I was astounded. I did not think this would be that good. I thought it would be great and be better than the first, because this is what we've been building up to for years. We've been waiting for years. But it was better than that. It was an absolutely triumphant and game-changing, life-altering theatrical experience that I managed to see, 4 times in the theater? I think 4 times, which is the most I've... Look, I have a daughter now, so I don't get to go see movies multiple times anymore. I made time. I said, honey, you stay in this closet. Dada's going. That's not true. The dog was in the closet with her. Austin Butler is amazing in this movie. I mean, just riveting. I heard Austin Butler was playing the villain, then I saw him in the trailer. Even after seeing him in the trailer, I'm like, yeah, he's got the Skarsgård voice down, but what is he going to do that... No, he's scary, man. When they showcase him, not only, the big scene or sequence that he was a part of, which is showcased in black and white thanks to that planet, which just looks ominous and freaky. He's a freaky dude all throughout and gave off like Darth Vader vibes at points. Now, maybe I wanted a little more from him, but that's not a script complaint. That's a selfish, I wanted him on screen all the time. But it's Paul. It's Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, which, again, Zendaya on this list twice. She may have stolen the show at points. I mean, she doesn't speak in like the final 30 minutes of the movie, but she didn't have to be as good as she actually was. And when Paul, gets the blue Gatorade and goes ham, starts going to town saying, I'm the dude that's not disguised as another dude, but I've always been that dude, even though the worm juice woke me up. That sequence where he's walking into the temple, I'm getting literal chills just thinking about Hans Zimmer's score, the cinematography, the shot selection, the atmosphere, and the performance from Timothée Chalamet. Oh my God. He's amazing. Everybody's amazing. Rebecca Ferguson and obviously Lisa Nalkaib, Stilgar Man. The memes. If this movie did anything for some younger people who were never interested in Dune, it spawned memes and a popcorn bucket that I genuinely believed helped the box office. But you know what helped it most? The fact that it's a masterpiece, baby. Number 1. This sucks. You know why it sucks? Because we still have 6 more months, and I just don't know. I don't know if anything can top it. I mean, I'm seeing Longlegs next week. Maybe that can do it, but I don't know, man. Dune Part 2 is a masterpiece. What do you want me to say? So thank you for watching this video. Would you like to... Come on. I broke it. Would you like to see a worse list or a TV list or a list about lists? Would you like to see me rank all the lists that I've made in 2024? I'll do it. I'll freaking do it. Thanks for watching. I need sleep. I appreciate it. Plenty of reviews to come this week and such.